Hello everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo with another video, and it's my annual look at what are the priciest items in my collection according to the sales history at Discogs. I used the median price for which a recorded sale occurred. But I'm also going to be looking at what the item may be currently selling for, because it's interesting that sometimes, what it has sold for in the past can be more expensive than what people are selling for right now. But then also, particularly with items that have been escalating in value, what is currently for sale is significantly more expensive than what it has sold for in the past. I got a few like that, but I was really, really fortunate to buy them when I did, because if I wanted to buy these recordings now, they're just beyond what I would be willing to pay. And it was interesting. I went back and I'll have links in the down under to the two videos that I did previously for 2020 and 2019, and it was kind of interesting to see how some items just appeared out of nowhere and have joined the list, and others that have dropped off the list, so to speak. So we'll get started here. And the number one in my collection, it was in the top five before. In 2019, it was the number 3 item. And last year for 2020, it was the number 2 item. It's now the number 1 item, and that is this behemoth, the Steven Wilson remix of the Yes albums, from starting with the Yes album, going to Fragile, including Tales from Topographic Oceans, Close to the Edge, and then Relayer. Really, really fine box set that I picked up when it was first available from Amazon, I believe it was, and for like $95. And it is now, the median price is nearly $340. That's what it has sold for. The highest it has sold for in Discogs anyway is $379. But here I'm going to take a look at what current sellers are asking. And current seller, I clicked on the wrong one because I just went to the release. I need to, yeah, I did that right. All right, so currently, the median is $328. There is one for sale for $282. However, as I'm looking here, really the cheapest one available is from a seller in Sweden, who, if you were buying and having it shipped to the United States, you'd be paying $336 for it. And that's about the range right now for the ones that are available. You'd end up paying $330 to $350. So, yep, that's one that certainly has grown in value. And they're fantastic sounding records. Now, here's the next few, or the next two, I should say, not a few, really, really jumped up in price because they're sold out and they're not making any more. And the first one is this Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM release of Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited. And this just says Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, which means this is not an original master. I mean, it might be, because what Mobile Fidelity does is when they know for a fact that it's not an original master, but like one or two generations down from the original master tapes, then it'll get this label. However, the other way it would get this label is that it might be the original master, but they're unable to verify that. So regardless, so it's not an original master, and yet the price of this has been escalating simply because, Mobile Fidelity has done its run, and they're not going to be making any more of these. And I bought mine from Mobile Fidelity direct and probably paid around $45 to $50. That was roughly the the retail price when you were buying directly from them. And now the median price is $230 for this. The last time this one, Highway 61, last year was number 5. So it's now the number 2 album. And the median price was $104. Okay, with the high end being $150. And then in 2019, it wasn't even in my top 10. So that's how quickly, things change with this. So pretty amazing. Another one, the number 3 record is, again, a Mobile Fidelity from the Bob Dylan series. And this one is an original master recording. And this is the, double release of the 45 RPM of the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Okay, so Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, the median price is $150. Let me take a quick look at actually what they're selling. So Highway 61, if we look at the cheapest one right now for sale, is $264. That's the asking price. But then if we start looking at, it's approaching $300 because right now a vendor in Japan is selling it, but with the shipping coming in, it's going to be around just under $300. Netherlands, there's someone who will sell it to you and ship it with no extra charge for $300. But they note that it does not have a number. I don't know if mine is, that's not the right one. Doesn't mine have a number, I wonder? They're the mono pressings, and mine does have a number, 1,835. So then we look at the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Let me go back here, take a look at the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. And there are 11 for sale right now. Okay, hello, okay. And they're United States, so we're looking at about $150 to $160 depending on shipping. So that's what it's selling for right now in the Discogs universe. And is this one numbered? Do I have a numbered one? I mean, I should. Yeah, I have a numbered one, and it's number 1,674. So, good thing that I bought them when I did, because I was paying the MoFi retail, price, which was probably somewhere around, it could have been anywhere from $40 to $60 for the 45 RPM ones. And Highway 60, Freewheeling was not in my list for 2020, and it was not in the list for 2019. All right, then the fourth one has been one that for a while had occupied the number 1 position, and that is the original uncensored release of Zappa in New York, which has the discreet label, but it has the song Punky's Whips, which was removed after a lawsuit initiated by, it was either the band, I'll have to look it up again because it's going to be time for me to do and like my Zappa one album at a time. Zappa New York is going to be the next one. So I'll be, looking up the information again. But it was either the band Angel, their record company sued, or the band sued, or both. I'll get that figured out. But that was over the song Punky's Whips, which was a reference to Punky Meadows, who was in that band. Punky Meadows, however, didn't have an issue with that, but the band and record company did. That has been the number one album in my collection in terms of resale value for 2020 and for 2019. It's now number 4. And the price still is well, it's actually come down a little bit. The highest it's ever sold for was $500, but the median price right now is $134, which is a little bit less than what I paid for mine. We'll take a look here at ones that are currently for sale. Yes, there are 3 for sale, and the least expensive one, when you add shipping, is going to cost you about just under $150, coming from the Russian Federation. All the vendors are in Europe, because that's predominantly where this particular unofficial release was distributed. So then the price, there's one for sale that's going to cost you 400 euros with no extra shipping, that's coming from Italy. That's a lot. That'll probably be sitting there for a while until it's the only one, and somebody who really, really wants it, might end up paying for it. So yeah, that was a number 1. It's dropped down to number 4. Now the next one is in the middle of the group. It's been in the middle of the group for the past couple of years. And that is this one. This is a reissue of the Magical Mystery Tour. And, for a while I was kind of like, geez, why is this one, I bought this brand new for, whatever the release price was. It might have been around $30 or something like that. I really can't remember. But it's now the median price for it is $127. And I was kind of flummoxed about why, because this is a 2014 reissue, but it's mono. And that's, I think, the mono reissues, and of course the mono box set, which I didn't get, but, is escalated in price, just crazily. But that's why. And so the last year it was, the median price was $115. In 2019, the median price was $90. It is now $127. And we'll look here what they're currently selling for. All right, so the least expensive one is going to cost you about $190, coming from the Russian Federation. The least expensive one for sale right now, if you add the shipping in, that's in the United States, will cost you just slightly more than $200. So yeah, this is one that has certainly escalated in price, because it is a really fine reissue, mono reissue, and that's the key, because a lot of those early Beatles, up to about the White Album, the mono ones are the ones you want, as opposed to the stereo ones. Although I have a stereo Sgt. Pepper's, that was the one I grew up with, and sounds fine to me. All right, so the next one is another box set that came out quite recently. All right, and so there we go. The Zappa New York Beatles. Oh no, Next one is another Bob Dylan MoFi release, and that is, it's a box. It is its original master recording of Blonde on Blonde. All right, so this is, again, one that I bought directly from MoFi when it was released. This is a numbered one, 8014, and I paid $80. I think it's a 45 RPM, so this was a double album, and so it came out on 3 albums when MoFi released it. And right now, it was, let me see, was Blonde on Blonde in my 2020 list? No, it was, yes, it was. It was my number 3 album for 2020 with a median price of $122. And then it was my number 5 on the list for $85 in 2019. It's still roughly about the same as it was last year, although it's dropped down to the 6th position at $125. However, it has sold for more than $300. And again, I click on here to see what's available right now. And there's quite a few for sale, but the cheapest one, the price is $150, but it's going to cost you $110 shipping from Croatia. The one in least expensive one's available from the United States vendor. They want $165 for it. So that seems to be closer. $165 to $175 seems to be the common asking price for it. Boy, that's a lot of shipping to buy a record from Croatia. Wow. So that's Blonde on Blonde. It's number 6. So the median price for which it has sold is $125. But right now, the current price that the vendors are asking is in the range of 160 to 175. All right, then. Now moving on to the number 7 album. This is a new one that, because it is a new release, and it was only released this past year. And that is the War box set. All right, beautiful. This is a record store day. I can't remember if it was an exclusive, but it was a record store day release this year. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. We've got the release War, All Day Music, The World is a Ghetto, Deliver the Word, and Why Can't We Be Friends? Really, really excellent box set. And it's $120 is the median price now, which is, close to what its release price was, which I can't remember. I think it was $110 was the release price. But if we look at what it's actually vendors are asking for now, yeah, there's quite a few of them for sale. But again, from Europe, there's one for $89, but after you add shipping, it's $127. If we look for a U.S. vendor, I see a Canadian vendor. Canada. I don't see any U.S. vendors here showing it for sale. A lot in Greece and Germany, quite a few. Most of them are all Euro. Here's one. A United States vendor is asking $145 for it, so almost $155 after you add shipping. So, so the price on that one is going up, especially if you're, a collector in the United States and you want to buy from a United States vendor. You're going to be paying more than the median price in previous sales history. That price again was $120, but you're probably going to be looking at $150 to pick this up from a U.S. vendor, and substantially more if if you're in the United States and you're buying from a vendor in Europe. Most of my audience is in the United States. I do have a few people who have subscribed to my channel who are in Europe, but the majority of you are from the United States. All right, so War came in at number 7. And then at number 8, which is kind of a drop because this was higher up on the list. Well, it was number 8 in 2019, but it was number 4 in 2020, and it's another Mobile Fidelity release. And that's the Mobile Fidelity, and it's an original master recording of the live album Grateful Dead, the eponymously titled one. So $120 is the current median price. And I don't want to sneeze. Oh, so I said $120 in terms of for what it has sold for. And right now, the least expensive, and it is from a United States vendor, is $135 with the shipping included. So that one is... what did I pay for this? Because this was not a recent MoFi release. I probably bought this used, and I think I might have paid around $80 or $90 for it. And is it a numbered one? Yeah, it's a numbered one too. And what is the number I got here? Not that it really makes any difference. I mean, there's no more value in one number over another. 4,080. So, yeah, that's getting lower down on the list, and it had been higher up on the list in the past. Okay, number 9 is one that was like an honorable mention last year. It wasn't in the top 10. And in 2019, I may not have owned it yet. No, it's not on my list from 2019. And and I don't even have a cover for this record. It is The Sounds of Liberation, which was a Philadelphia jazz art collective. And the lowest price that it's sold for is $80. I will say that there was a vendor who was selling it without a cover in the past that I saw in Discogs, who was asking $70 for it. And that was without a cover. And I paid $2 for this because it was in this bin of records that, didn't have covers. And so they were all like deeply discounted. I picked up a few that I thought were kind of interesting. But yeah, $2 for that. And it's now, the median price is $110. It has gone for as much as $240. And if we look at, there's 10 for sale right now with the cheapest one. Well, the cheapest one, I guess, is from Belgium. They want roughly 80 euros. With shipping, it'll cost you $113. It is with a cover. As I look through here, all the ones for sale do have covers. Now, there is another issue of this record. This is a limited edition pressing on Porter Records. There was another one that is much more collectible, several $100s more you would pay for that particular pressing. So there is another more valuable pressing out there. Okay, and then we come to the number 10, which was not in my list last year or for 2019. So this one has just really rose up in the ranks over the past couple of years. For some reason, I don't know. It's a repressing of double nickels on the dime by the Minutemen. So this one apparently is in high demand. Right now, the median price for which it is sold was $110. If we look here, there are 4 for sale. Cheapest one looks like for about $110. Yep, it'll be $109.99 with no extra shipping. That's from a U.S. vendor. The most expensive one, if you include shipping because it's Europe, is going to be almost $190. Not really sure why, because also if I look at the ratio, according to Discogs, 1,100, almost 1,200 people have it, and just under 800 want it. And usually when fewer people want it than have it, that tends to influence the price, supply and demand. But, maybe because a lot of people have it, there's just not a lot, available. I mean, right now there are only 4 copies available for sale. All of them, well, very good plus or near mint. So, yeah, that's one that kind of, it just rose up to the top 10. Now, some ones that have been in the top 10 for me that are no longer in there include the OG issue of REM's Monster, the new box set, the deluxe box set, Zappa, the original motion picture soundtrack, is still, the median price is $106. And I had that, but I didn't pull it out to show. It's roughly around what the original retail was for it. And if I look now, the least, you can buy this for way less than that. And if you, if you really like Zappa and you want to get the complete motion picture soundtrack, it is a great box set. And if you can, let's look with these least expensive ones. With shipping $70 total from a United States vendor. They're saying it's mint condition. Presumed mint. I don't know what that means. Presumed mint. It's probably not sealed, which means it's not mint. But still, $70 is, great price. There's another one here for sale for $70, and they say it is mint. It is sealed. So, yeah, there's some great deals on that Zappa, the original motion picture deluxe soundtrack. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, boy, I'd be jumping on that to pick that up. Some others that have dropped that off the list that used to be in the top 10 list but are no longer, but are still above $100, include Marillion's Brave, which I have Gil Evans and Gil Evans in 10, is there. The Wallflowers Bringing Down the Horse is also still up there. And this mono edition of Miles Davis on Columbia Records is close to $100 now, which I find interesting. But one that I surprised has not really escalated in value is Neil Young and Crazy Horse, way down in the rust bucket. The median price, $93. That's for what it sold, and that's about what it was original retail. But if we look here, yeah, and there are plenty for sale for even less than that. Here's one, a mint one for sale for, about $65 when you include shipping from a U.S. vendor. Again, if you like Neil Young and Crazy Horse, I really recommend that one. It is a absolutely superb release. In fact, when I got it, I listened to it for the first time, because it's like 4 records, all right? So I figured I would listen to one, and then later listen to it. I sat there and listened to all four of them, one after the other. It was just great. Well, anyway, that's the accounting for the most valuable or priciest records, I should say, in my collection for the year 2021. Some surprises in there, and some others that have been there for, for at least the last 3 years in my list. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, leave a comment in the down under. There will be links to my other videos about the lists that I did before. I hope you enjoyed that. And as I always say, please remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.